Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates, and welcome to your October shorts, a very short, quick view of what's going on for your particular sign in the month of October. Now, if you'd like a longer, fuller explanation, you can watch out for the monthly horoscopes as they come out with visuals as well as an explanation. All right, beautiful friends, let's get in here and make sure you check the description box down below for the timestamp for your particular sign. And keep in mind, you can listen to these for your sun, moon, or rising sign. All right, let's see what's going on in October. Hello, beautiful Aries friends. As we are in October, we can see that this is going to be a month where definitely your social life is a big deal. There is a lot going on in terms of partnership, in terms of what is actually happening and what you desire in your personal life, in terms of friends, in terms of having social contacts and social connections in your life. So this is a very important month to understand that the way you're socializing, who you're socializing with, from your personal life to your professional life, is definitely on tap. So make sure you are watching out for engagement in this particular area. Now we've got Jupiter and Saturn continuing to travel through the Aquarian energy, which will light up your 11th house space, which means that this is continuing to solidify and take your friendship levels to that next place. It's raising you up a notch, bringing you up to this next place, which means it's bringing you social contacts that can also help level you up and take you to the next place. Sometimes that can feel hard. It can feel confusing due to the influence of Saturn, but Jupiter is also here to help that area expand, help you see wisdom in why you would want to expand your friendship zone, your social zone, your technological zone, right? Any way that you need to expand out to achieve this next personal major achievement for yourself. So you have some helpers. With Saturn and Jupiter, it's always the gas and the brake at the same time, but they're actually helping each other here. Now, your ruling planet Mars is going to continue to move through the partnership energy all the way until the end of October. So I'm telling you, when I say that your social life and being a part of a collaborative effort and being very serious about the plans that you're making in terms of your partnerships, I absolutely mean it. Mars here is going to work for justice, for fairness, and to get things done. But what I'll remind you, dear Aries, is to make sure that you don't lose your voice in the midst of the partnerships and collaborations. You have to own yourself without putting down the rest of the people. Now, in terms of marriage and partnerships and actual commitment to things like that, I think that this is a wonderful energy as we get to the new moon that's going to take place in the same area of your chart on October 6th. So this is an energy that is so great for re-looking at or planting the seeds for new partnerships, or even giving a fresh look, a fresh perspective to old partnerships that you've got on your table. Mercury is still retrograde until we get to the 18th of the month in this same area. So it means it's nice for you to slow down. There could be confusion. There can be misunderstandings. There can be things that you need to look over again. But with Mercury retrograde here, you actually have the focus and the attention to be able to do it, to make these social areas, these partnership areas, the best that they can be. A full moon rolling in on October 20th is the most important lunation that you're going to have all year because it's in your sign. So what this means is that the full moon is giving you an opportunity to end, acknowledge, or adjust something, dear Aries, okay? You're going to be confronting yourself. You're going to be confronting a time where you actually get to move a bit into the spotlight, but you have to realize what you're going to say yes to in order to say no to something else, and what you're going to say no to in order to say yes. Now, I also think that this full moon is a wonderful time for you at this point in the year to realize it's okay for you to get back in alignment with that root chakra, with your creative energy, with energy that makes you feel sexy and attractive and moves you in the direction of creation of things in your life, okay? Now, if there is imbalance, this is the month where you will also get to see how you've got to participate differently in your own affairs in order to bring that balance. Now, I think that as we're looking at the Venusian energy that's available for you this month, that's going to really put a full impact, I think, into your chart between October 10th and November 5th, you want to pay attention to what is going on with money, to what is going on in joint collaborations and partnerships, specifically around money. Now, if this is you're taking a vacation, you're planning a vacation, you're planning a trip for later in the year, whatever it is, just make sure you're looking for the deals and not just getting yourself into a financial bind. Instead, make sure that you're letting your money work for you and you're taking on expenses that are actually within your means. Okay. All right, Aries, have an absolutely beautiful October, and I'll see you next month. Hello, beautiful Taurus. As we roll into October, we're going to still see a lot happening in your professional life. Now, we've got Saturn and Jupiter both camped out here. They're both retrograde at this particular time as well. And Jupiter is not going to move on until the end of the year, until December 28th. So you still have a lot of support for advancement and expansion in your professional zone. So it's really giving you an opportunity, Taurus, out in the world, whether you call this your actual profession itself or your title that we call you in public, you've got an opportunity to be expanding. And when you work with Jupiter energy, it's not expanding a little bit. You don't kind of get a little bit bigger. You have an opportunity to really expand out there in the world. New opportunities happen. New opportunities sometimes feel like they're walking up to your door. And I also think it's a wonderful time for you to acknowledge how well your name can be known in your own particular community. Now, you have to remember, though, that Saturn is also here. So Saturn is trying to take you to this next level, Taurus. It's trying to level you up, but you have to do the work. You have to take the opportunity, suit up, show up, do the work. We talked a little bit about this in September. Now, what's going to happen in October is that Jupiter and Saturn are going to come out of retrograde. So now it is going to be time to actually deliver on what you have already agreed to take on. And if you have raised your status in the professional zone, it's going to be time for you to live up to that name. Okay. Now, I do want to say that Mars is also going to be continuing through the let's get stuff zone in your chart. So you'll have a lot of help to actually get these projects done, get done whatever needs to get done. Mars will be helping you to move there. And if you are one of my Taurus friends that is actually looking for a job, or you're a freelance person and you're looking to bring projects towards you, Mars is actually quite a helper in this particular area. This is also phenomenal for my Taurus friends who do anything in terms of health and fitness, or if you do anything in terms of alternative medicine. I think that Mars will really be a helper for you at this particular time. Now, as we have a new moon happening on October 6th, this is also going to be in the space of getting projects to come your way, daily routines, things like that. It really is about improving your daily routine in this area of your life. So use that new moon really very well. Now, Mercury is also still retrograde at this particular point in the month, all the way up until October 18th. So what could be happening is you're trying to make some changes, but you feel like there's a little confusion, or you applied for that job and you really haven't heard back and you think it's out of the wind, but maybe then they call back during the Mercury retrograde. So just know that information is not perfectly clear, but it is a great time to go back and go over things. Go back to those projects you need to get done so that you look really well put together while you're in public. Okay. So it's a beautiful, beautiful energy. Now, your ruling planet Venus is going to be traveling in partnership energy until October 7th. So dig into that. She is bringing some depth. She is bringing some intensity, but also a harmony and a blending and a beauty to your relationships. And it's pretty serious. Again, I know I talked about this in September, but I just think that the relationships that are in your life, anywhere you're partnering, from business to professional life, you want intensity, you want intimacy in these relationships, because I think you realize at this point that the relationships you have daily contact with need to be significant so that you can grow, you can root, you can tap into your own sensuality and creativity. So enjoy that Venus energy, okay? Mars, on the other hand, is going to be moving into this relationship sector as well and camping out here for quite some time. So I do think that you've got opportunity for collaboration this month with Mars energy as well. So if you need to be working together with people this month, that's more of the idea, instead of trying to do everything by yourself, Taurus. You know, sometimes you can push off and kind of do things on your own. This is the time to collaborate. So keep that in mind. Now, the full moon is going to actually be happening in your 12th house in that Aries energy on October 20th. So if you've got things that are going on, whether it be your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, and you need to slow down and you need to get more in contact with that, that needs some work, that needs some attention, you need to be your own warrior, this would be the time where I would see things like that happen. It could also be that you are working on this schedule behind the scenes and getting ready for what's coming in 2022. Whatever is needed. Remember, a 12th house lunation, especially a full moon Taurus, says something needs to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted. So where do you feel like you need to kind of come in, tuck inside for a couple days, get your life together, and see which projects you don't need to keep, see which thoughts you don't need to keep, see what needs to be cleared from your physical and spiritual space so that you can be moving forward like gangbusters as we get ready for November. All right, Taurus, have an absolutely gorgeous month, and I will see you in November. Hey, Gemini, October is busy in the personal life, but it is also really busy with Jupiter and Saturn coming out of retrograde, still helping you to expand. So really, when it comes to publishing, marketing, broadcasting, podcasting, travel, anything that allows you to really pursue a big level of expansion, to include maybe a return to school. Mercury is retrograde, and that's your ruling planet. Or are you returning to teaching? Are you returning to breath work? What are you going back to that is allowing you to go on some kind of expanded travel, some kind of expanded experience, whether that be through faith or media? You've really got that in your pocket this month. And remember, Jupiter and Saturn will come out of retrograde this month. So if you've been getting prepared, you've been going back over these projects, as they come out of retrograde, you can see these projects moving forward. You can see that maybe you've reset or rethought your connections with how you would like to publish, market, or broadcast, or what you would like to study. It's a phenomenal energy. Now, Mars, passion, desire, movement, this sexual energy is going to be moving and grooving all the way until October 30th in the area of your chart that says, what do you want, Gemini? Like, what do you want? What are you passionate about? What brings you joy? How do you bring joy to the world? So this is a tremendous energy for you to be working with, because it allows you to push into some of this self-expression and put your magic out to the world. It's absolutely a delicious energy. I will say too, for my Geminis who are coupled up, or you're in even a business relationship that's a lot more committed or serious, you got something on paper, there's a lot of passion available here to create something. Now, Mars is still Mars. It could create kind of passion that says, hey, we need to talk about this. We need to get into this. We need to have this breakdown. So whatever's happening, just know that Mars has got your back to try and kick things into the gear in the right alignment. Okay. Now, as we get to the new moon that's happening on October 6th, this is a nice place to plant your seeds of intention, but your ruling planet Mercury is still retrograde in the same area. So I want you to keep that in mind, that there could be slowdowns. There could be a little bit of confusion. It could feel like, what's going on in my romantic life? What's going on with my money? But just take a deep breath for a minute. Just take a deep breath for just a minute and allow the Mercury retrograde to move on October 18th. And then some clarity can come to the table, okay? We're also going to see that we've got a full moon happening on October 20th. Now, that full moon says that something needs to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted. And I actually think that this month for you, Gemini, this is about networking. This is about a network in some way, shape, or form where you could even be taking center stage. You've done something maybe in your personal life or your professional life, and this is a milestone. And so you're actually a little bit in the center stage. And that's really great, because at this particular point, what you need to know, Gemini, is this is your calling to say no to something so that you can say yes to something else, or say yes to something so that you can say no to something else. But whatever it is about being celebrated and surrounded by people who understand that you're doing good work. So hopefully you've been really using that Jupiter Saturn expansion to get yourself out there in the ways that you'd like to be out there. Okay. All right, beautiful Geminis, I look forward to seeing you in November. Have a great month. Hello, beautiful Cancers. In October, we've still got Jupiter and Saturn traveling through this Aquarian energy. So Jupiter's still allowing you to expand, get more in touch with intimacy, understand the wisdom of intimacy, of joint and shared resources. And Jupiter will continue on this travel again, just a reminder, until December 28th. So this is a phenomenal energy. When Jupiter gets into the 8th house, one of the things I think happens is that, first of all, we expand, right? We can come together with another resource, and that literally expands our money, or it expands our experience, or we collaborate in some way, shape, or form. But also, because Jupiter is wise, and the only way Jupiter gets you your wisdom is through experience. In the 8th house, we really do have to get into what is below the surface. Now, Saturn also traveling here could be coming to balance the scales of some karma, making you very intentional about what it is you're doing in this 8th house, because it's trying to level you up. It's trying to take you to this next place. So it could be this great combination for you this month, Cancer, of learning about intimacy, learning about shared and joint resources and connections, and how you maturely step into intentionally participating in those things. For some of you, flat out, I think it looks like you take on some kind of marriage, whether it's a marriage of I am committing to go to therapy, or I am committing to astrology, or I am committing to this person, or I am committing to the process of getting this estate handled. Whatever it is, it does seem like you're going to intentionally take on some kind of important connection to you, which I think is phenomenal. Now, Mars is going to continue through the area of your chart all the way until October 30th. That has a lot to do with the home zone, which is really where you rule, really where you typically do pretty good work. So Mars continuing through this area is going to be in action. So the first actions, I think, at home are, do you need to clean your house? Is it time to tidy up this living space? Or are there renovations or projects that need to be done and finished and completed? And for some of you, it could absolutely, with all that Mars, fiery kind of energy, it could promote a move. Absolutely. So it's possible that could be going on, but you've got all of this joint resource stuff going on. So if there is a move or there is a change, is it because you're moving in with somebody? And when I say moving in with somebody, I want to be clear. Are you allowing spirit even to come and move more presently into your house, to your home, to your life, to your physical body of home? Whatever it is, there is a space for almost this idea with Mercury retrograde of even being reparented in a way from the inside out, but by something you believe to be pure and really efficient to help you grow and experience this life. Now, we've got a new moon happening on October 6th, and Mercury is going to be in connection with this moon for sure. So truly, you could be going back over things, especially things that do have to do with family. So just kind of keep that in mind, that you could be relooking at it. Give yourself and other people space. Mercury retrograde brings a little bit of confusion. Okay. Now, by the time we're traveling and we're getting to this space at the end of the month, we're going to have this full moon happening on October 20th. Now, this is going to be in the energy of Aries. Okay, so it's a lot about awakening, and first of all, saying that something has to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted. And really, sometimes a full moon brings things to culmination to light up or put us center stage with what's next for us. So for you, I wonder, is this a professional achievement? On your end? Are you wrapping up a term of work in some way, shape, or form? Are you wrapping up being single and now you're going to be married, because we also change our titles in this area? So it could definitely be a timing where you're stepping into a bit of spotlight with that. Now, Venus is also bringing a lot of harmony all the way until November into this area of your chart as well. So there's just this vibe for you this month, Cancer, that whether it's love and harmony at work or it's love and harmony in your personal and your home life, there's definitely some rebalancing and some good juju available for you this month. Okay. All right, my beautiful Cancer friends, have a gorgeous month, and I'll see you in November. Hello, beautiful Leos. And as we start to travel through October, you've definitely got a lot of relationship energy that will continue on. Much is the theme, like we've seen all year long, while Jupiter and Saturn are continuing to travel through Aquarius, which lights up and puts a big impact on your relationship zone. So the way that you're connecting with people, the way that you are authentically connecting with people is something that you're really refining right now. But also, I think that Jupiter traveling through this particular area of your chart, it not only brings the expansiveness of relationships to your table, but it also brings you relationships into your life that are very significant, but they can also be people that help you grow. So whether this be in a business relationship or some kind of other partnering collaboration, this is a wonderful energy for you to be experiencing. And as Saturn is traveling here, you're certainly going to iron out some energies, what needs to be refined, which of your rough edges are still being kind of shaped and softened out a little bit so that you can work in these really useful, beautiful partnerships. It also just brings a seriousness to the partnership. So continue to keep an eye on that, okay? as we travel, we're going to see that Mars is going to continue to move that fury energy all through your communication sector of the chart. So we'll see that all the way until the end of October. So if you write, if you speak, if you present, if you need to negotiate a contract, if there are things on your website that you need to get done, use Mars's energy at this particular time to put yourself forward, best foot out for absolutely sure. So please really, truly take advantage of that particular energy. Now we've got a new moon that's going to be happening on October 6th. This is great for planting your seeds of intention and allowing opportunities, allowing collaborations to come to you that have to do with expanding your ideas, your different projects maybe that you want to take on and getting them to spread, right? It's like you're going to be able to spread an idea or spread a message. That's going to be really particularly important at this time. Now, I want you to remember though that Mercury is retrograde up until the 18th. So there could be delays in this message you're trying to get out there. There could be delays in all things Mercury, travel plans, communication, anything like that. Make sure that if you've got a plan or a presentation you're going to be doing, you have backed that thing up on a hard drive or something, because computer malfunctions are really huge right now. So just make sure that you're taking advantage of that. Okay. Venus is going to continue to travel through the domestic space of your chart. So Venus bringing a little harmony, bringing a little beauty to the home zone, and really bringing an opportunity, I think, to re-examine if you are in love with, if you find value and comfort and esteem in your home space. And if not, you'll have opportunities to address jazzing that whole thing up. Okay. Now, Mars is also going to be moving, like I said, through this energy where you've got the power of the mouth, you've got the power of the communications behind you. So make sure you take advantage of that. Okay. At the end of the month, on the 20th, we're going to see a full moon happening. And the full moon says that something needs to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted. And this one, I think, is really about you getting a little bit more international, Leo, right? Whether that be through academics, publishing, marketing, broadcasting, actually doing some international travel, or maybe even bringing someone or an opportunity that is foreign, in quotes, into your life. But it's almost an energy that's telling you to get out of your normal common box at this particular time and go have a taste of the cosmic cookie that the universe has got for you that lies outside of the comfort zone. Okay. All right, my Leos, have an absolutely beautiful month. And remember, if you want more details, you can watch the monthly October video where I will break it down visually for you as well. All right, have a great month. Hello, beautiful Virgos. As we are traveling in October, we will be moving out, of course, of that Virgo birthday energy. So birthday's off the table now. Now it's about everything that you realized you want for your next year, taking it out and going to grow and to expand and to bringing that to reality in your life. We've still got Jupiter and Saturn continuing to travel in that Aquarian energy. And so for you, this is really about expanding and understanding where you have your own unique way of having a daily schedule, a daily routine, or what makes you feel fit, what makes you joyful in your employment, and then also putting the pedal to the metal and getting out there and making that happen with the energy of Saturn. Now, Mars is going to be helping you out all the way until October 30th. And I will tell you, because this Mars's movement has so much to do with finances, I just want you to be mindful of your finances. What are the expenses that you're taking on, or what are the expenses that you need to meet? Now, if it is about taking creative skills and talents out into the world and showing how you can make money with them, this is a wonderful energy for that. We'll have a new moon that's happening on the 6th. And at the same time that this new moon is happening, which also gives light and love and attention to your financial life, we'll also have Mercury retrograde. So what this means is, as you're planting your seeds of intention to maybe build something new through opportunities of finance in your life, don't feel like if they're delayed, that your request wasn't heard, that your ritual didn't work, that finances are not coming your way. Mercury retrograde will delay a couple things. And sometimes that can make us feel doubt or uncertainty, like maybe it didn't work this time. It did. Plant your seeds of intention. Keep an eye on those bank accounts. Keep an eye on putting your talents out there. Be wise and understand the spirituality of your money, and the confusion will pass. Okay. Now, Venus is going to be traveling at least until the 7th, is going to be traveling through, helping you get like a freshened up perspective, I think, of just the mundane living. It brings a little beauty. It brings a little joy to the domestic piece of your life, where it's like, oh, it's this house. Oh, it's these things. You know what I mean? So you'll have that shift of energy that's just from like, oh, these are the ho-hum things, to a very domestic energy where you're wanting to sweeten all of that up. So enjoy it. Enjoy your family members, enjoy your spouse, enjoy your partner, enjoy your pets. Like really go home and be present and enjoy that energy. Okay. Now, as we get to the 20th of the month, we're going to have a full moon, and the full moon on October 20th says that something needs to be ended, acknowledged, and adjusted. Now, this is going to be in your share resource zone. So what this typically does is bring an opportunity to detox this area: debts, loans, credit cards, spiritual debt. If there's been trauma or there's been grief that's been going on, the full moon will shed a lot of light on it so that you can take a different perspective in this particular area and let something go that doesn't need to be there anymore. Now, because we've had so much energy across the way in this second house energy about your money, I do wonder if, as this full moon happens in the next or preceding 4 weeks, if you're not moving into the space where you're going to need to either make a big payment for something, or you have a big payment coming to you. Some of the things I think of, just even in my own business, is I love a good royalty check. Okay. Or maybe you're going to refinance that house or do something like that. But you want to keep an eye either way this month, Virgo, on that money, what you're doing with it, but also on the value that you're carrying out into the world and how the world is reciprocating that back to you. Okay. All right, my beautiful Virgos, have a gorgeous month. Hello, my beautiful Libras, and happy birthday. If you are on the October side of the birthday time, it's a wonderful time during your solar return to really be making sure that you are creating a space for what you'd like to build and experience into this next year. So happy birthday to you. As we're coming into the month, we've got Mars continuing in your sign, giving you life, giving you confidence, and also giving you energy, action, and the power of movement behind getting yourself moving forward, behind getting projects done that you would like to get out there. And you're going to have this energy all the way until October 30th. So do not waste it. But again, as I cautioned you in September, you do want to be sure that when Mars is in your sign, that you make sure you are moving your body, so you don't just have all of that fiery energy just pent up in the body, especially for you, Libra, because you're ruled by the kidneys. Okay. That's your ruling domain. So you don't want to be power drinking caffeine and you're not moving your body in order to get all of that energy going, and those kidneys are having to work really hard. But in terms of your personal, romantic, and professional goals, get out there, Libra. Go get it. And remember, yes, we can do relationship, but you want to not lose that beautiful Libra voice in the process of doing relationshiping. So don't lose your voice, don't lose your power. Okay. All right. We're going to have a new moon happening in your sign on October 6th. And this is beautiful because I feel like for you, this is the indicator that you have like a guardian angel behind you saying, Libra, it's okay. Let's go shine. Let's go do it. Let's get out here. Now, Mercury is retrograde at this particular moon all the way until the 18th. So I think that all month long, you might have this sense with the Mercury retrograde of, yes, Stormie, I hear you. And I know I should be putting myself out there, but I feel a little held back. I'm not sure. There's a little bit of confusion. That retrograde is going to end. So don't have any major freakouts if you're feeling a little bit uncertain. Okay, just try to do the next right thing. Go with the flow. Don't push, don't force. If you have to force it, surrender back just a little bit. Of course, Jupiter and Saturn will continue going through the Aquarian energy, and this again, as much as I said in the September short, which hopefully you've checked that out, will continue to pull on your creativity, your passion. And I really think for you Libras who have connection to children in your life, you're really going to see them Jupiter this next year grow all the way until December 28th. There's some kind of growth or maturity that's happening for them as well. Now, Saturn is also here. So Saturn can bring some heaviness where it can feel like, oh, I am trying to grow, but there's a little bit of heavy here. But really, when you have Jupiter and Saturn dancing together, it's like the gas and the brake. You get them both in the same place. So it actually, they'll find a way to work together. So again, do the next right thing, try and stay in the flow. Okay. All right. As we get towards the end of the month, October 30th, all the way until December 13th, we're going to see Mars push out of your sign and actually move into your financial house. Okay. This is great. So first of all, because you get all this movement and it's ready to go, Mars is in comfortable territory. So it is really working in some good power. You do want to watch your budget. You do want to watch your expenses. Before you know it, you're like, ooh, it was just my birthday. Let me spend all this extra money, which is delicious. Yes, go do it. If you need to make some major purchases and you know that you're solid to do that, go ahead and do that. But the other thing I love about Mars for your birthday time in this financial area is if you feel like you're ready to level up, catch a different financial vibration, practice while Mars is here, attuning yourself to that vibration. There's beautiful videos on YouTube to help you adjust your vibe. Okay. At the end of the month, we're going to have a full moon on October 20th, and this is going to be in the energy of Aries. So lighting up your partnership sector. Now, a full moon says that something has to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted. So I'm telling you, in terms of your relationships, if it's time to let it go, this full moon over this next 4 weeks, and really, I think honestly, taking us up until November, you're going to see that if it's not working out, whether it's a business arrangement, it's a romantic arrangement, it's a relationship of you and the old version of you, you're going to be letting it go because it's like, this just can't possibly work out. Now, to the other side of that, I do think that whatever you decide to separate with actually gives you space to take on something that is really good and has long-term commitment or has long-term success attached to it. So that's very exciting. So keep me posted in the comment section down below, Libra, how these things are shaping up and manifesting for you this month. Okay. All right. Have a great month, Libra. Hello, Scorpio. As we come in and we are traveling through October, of course, Jupiter and Saturn are going to continue in that domestic sector, much like we saw in September, except this time, Jupiter and Saturn are going to come out of retrograde quite quickly back to back here in October. So the lessons that you've been learning in your housing zone, in your domestic zone, whether that's been that you've moved, you've had different changes with your family, you had children who grew up and they moved into their next stage of development, or things that have changed with your family that actually allow it to grow. As Jupiter and Saturn come out of this retrograde, there's a lot of making peace with your past. There's a lot of making peace with change that I think is very encouraging and allowing you space to do that. So that's really a lovely energy. Now, Mars, as we're in October, is going to continue to travel until October 30th in this quiet sector, in this quiet area of your chart. So really, you're still working on things that are behind the scenes and they're not quite ready to come out yet. But as we move towards November, we'll see that energy shifting just a little bit. But I also think that because this is this quiet sector, it is still yet again an energy, Scorpio, in October that is like, what are we ready to release? What are we ready to transition? What are we ready to be free from the past? These are questions that I think definitely come to your table. Now, we're going to have a new moon that's happening on October 6th. And I think because there is also Mercury retrograde at this particular time, Mercury doesn't come out of retrograde until the 18th. If there is something in your past, if you're trying to plant some seeds of intention to move something forward, but you've got something that's like a thorn in your claw from the past, or even if it is a lovely idea from the past that you know that you're going to be able to launch forward, right? This is the time to use that moon and that retrograde together to go ahead and say, okay, what needs to be surrendered and what can I get ready to launch forward? But I also still feel like this is a wonderful energy for you to finish up any projects of health that need to be taken taken care of. So if you didn't get into the doctor because the world's been crazy, now would be the time to do that. If you haven't taken a time to do a spiritual check-in, go ahead and do that, okay? Now, Venus is going to be glowing through the chart and bringing your magnetism to a different place, I think. Now, really where I see that Venus is as strong for you this month is helping you not only in your personal and your professional life, but Venus makes you magnetic enough to actually, I think, come to the front with something. Now, you've got this project, you've got this thing that you're working on from the past. Maybe it's fear of coming out and coming forward and standing into your own light and power and letting us see you. If that's what it is, Venus is pulling a magnetism. It's almost like she creates a safe space for you to understand it's okay for you to have a little glow up and come out, okay? Now, Mars only comes to our individual zodiac signs every 2 years. So as Mars comes and is traveling and is comfortable and is putting in work and putting in energy for you, and you're moving this month towards this beautiful solar return, so happy birthday, Scorpios, you want to be mindful that Mars coming home into power for you is going to give you a boost of energy to actually move things forward between October 30th and December 13th. So get ready for birthday time as the sun is coming your direction, and get ready to use that Martian energy to bring yourself forward and start your new solar year, okay? All right, my beautiful Scorpio friends, have a great month. I'll see you next month. Hello, my beautiful Sagittarius friends and man, oh man, as we travel here through October, couple things to keep in mind. Now, Jupiter, your ruling planet, is of course still in the energy of Aquarius all the way until December 28th. Saturn is also traveling through the energy of Aquarius as well. So you have this co-combination of energy that is really putting you in a position to expand the way that you communicate. It's helping you expand the way and the techniques that you're using to publish, market, broadcast. But ultimately, I think they are refining your desire to expand your horizon and go out and see what else is out there. But Saturn in this particular position is leveling you up, Sagittarius. It is taking your communication skills, your broadcasting skills, your writing skills, your social media skills, you know, the way that you do things. Saturn is taking you to the next level with them. It's like, let's get these skills together. Let's get this YouTube channel taken to the next level. Whatever it is, you really have a lot of help from these two energies, and that ruling planet of yours is going to help things expand. Now, what's even more beautiful about it is that you've had 4 months to be doing the work, and now Jupiter and Saturn are going to come out of retrograde. So those holdbacks, a lot of it out in the world that you've been feeling, now it's going to be time to step them up and actually bring them out. And I encourage you to do so. Use October to get your plans in order, because even though they come out of retrograde in November, the good stuff really kicks in, I think, in November. Okay. As we get to the new moon that's happening October 6th, this is cool. This is nice because you want to plant your seeds of intention, but also Mercury is retrograde at this time and will not come out of retrograde until the 18th. Now, that's nothing to fear, but it is to say, you know, you've got all of this enthusiasm and these dreams of moving things forward, and you may bump into what feels like confusion, where you're like, wait a minute, you know, how come it doesn't seem like things are moving forward? How come I can't get a hold of anybody? Or how come this video doesn't seem to be doing this? You know, how come I can't get a hold, or they're not answering my email? Whatever it is, it could feel like there is some kind of confusion or uncertainty. That will pass. That will pass. Mercury is going to come out of retrograde. It doesn't last forever, okay? Instead, work with this new moon. Do you need to use this new moon to plant these seeds of intention to move yourself, move something, move a project, move a desire, an aspiration forward? But you actually have to go back to an old contact or an old friend, because Mercury is still in retrograde, to make that happen. So take a look at that. I would love to know how that's working out for you this month, okay? Now, as we continue to look through the month, we see that Mars is actually going to take a movement into your quiet space of your chart on October 30th all the way until December 14th. So what's going to happen here is that when Mars is working in the quiet space, the behind the scenes space, first of all, our dream lives can get really busy. So tap into those dreams. Tap into the symbol reading that's happening around you. You know, tap into the past, visions, symbols that show up for you. But ultimately, you may be working a lot on projects behind the scenes or things that nobody really knows about in public, and use that Mars energy to do that. The other thing I want to say is that with Mars in that 12th house space, you do need to make sure, Sagittarius, that you get that out of your body. Make sure you are moving or you're doing something to expel all of the extra energy that's happening over there in that 12th house, because it can raise your anxiety and your paranoia levels to a brand new place. Okay, so you do want to make sure that you're using Mars in this space to do some, do some powerful meditative yoga, right? Maybe it's time for an Ashtanga practice that's a little bit more athletic for the month. Try that out, see what you can go back to that actually gives you a good boost of energy moving forward. All right, my beautiful Sagittarians, I hope you have a great month, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Hello, beautiful Capricorns. All right, here in October, let's talk about this money situation. Let's just get right into it. Jupiter and Saturn are still transiting through this Aquarian area of the chart, but in October, they're going to come out of retrograde. Now, just the fact that they're continuing to travel in this Aquarian area, it's really important to understand that Jupiter is giving an expansion to this financial zone, and Saturn is actually taking you to the next level. Now, depending on how you've been dealing and manifesting with your money this far, will pretty much dictate a lot of what's available in your lessons this month. But what I can tell you is that they are both available for you to be leveling this area of your life up. And that doesn't mean you're working towards being a millionaire. If that is not where you're at in your life, don't even worry about that. But get your money straight. Where do your 6 streams of passive income come from? Do you have that in place? These two together, this is a combination energetically that it's the gas and the brakes at the same time. But when we look at them from another perspective, it's the guru and the teacher and the expander meeting a solid foundation. So for the first 5 months of this year, you also got to experience their energies and themes around money, value, self-esteem, how you make money, passive streams of income, your possessions and what's valuable. Those kinds of things were already a part of a theme that you were looking at. And now you are back. They're coming back out of retrograde here in October to see if you spent this last 4 months learning the lessons, getting these things in order. So you're definitely going to be able to see this month, and even better, I think in November, that there's space for not only your financial life to get different, but it gets different because something in your professional understanding changes as well. Whether this be that you're like, you know what, I actually have more skills. I've done a training in this time and I can apply. I can ask for that raise. If you are an independent practitioner, you need to look at your pricing schemes. Is it time to raise the roof and raise the rates? Because sometimes that is actually what's hindering you from the success in your career. Now, even I think personally, this is some stormy grace, but I think personally too, when we're talking about the second house, the way that you dress and the way that you style yourself, this speaks a lot to the value of what you're bringing into your life. Now, many of us have been on the work from home tip, and have you been in those sweats too long and it is not working for your money, right? Even if you're still going to be working at home, is it time to level up that area? Think about those things this month and see if small tweaks of using these beautiful energies can help you get to where you want. Now, Mars is also giving delicious to your professional vibes all month long, all the way until October 30th. So this is wonderful in this area because the things that we desire, right? Mars is about desire, the things that we are ambitious about, the things that we feel like we want to put motion and action and energy into, take these projects and these ideas that were, potential energy and make them kinetic. This is what Mars will help us do here. But also, Mars does give us enough of a little bit of a fight to say, yeah, it's time for me to move up in my industry. It's time for me to move my title. It's time for me to charge more, right? So it will help you with all of these energies. Now, we've got a new moon that is happening on October 6th. And I think this actually is a nice time to plant your seeds of intention to say, well, what are my next opportunities? What is, what's this exciting new trip that I can go on in this area of my life? But I do want you to be mindful that Mercury is still retrograde at that time. So it may feel like there is some holdup, some delay, something like that. And that energy will pass. I just want you to know what Mercury is going to come out of retrograde on the 18th. But at the same time, because we're dealing with such professional and financial energy this month, this could bring a old job offer back to the table. This could bring an old skill that you had back to the table, and you're feeling like I can go at this with a little bit more vigor. Okay. Now, Venus is going to be traveling all the way until October 7th, and giving a little bit of love to this area as well. Okay. Now, as we get to the end of the month, we're going to see Mars moving on. It's going to move on from October 30th all the way until December 13th, helping you get really attractive publicly. Right? So I want you to keep this in mind. If you are single and you are looking to date, look towards the end of the month through the end of this year. This is really helpful. You become very attractive. It's almost like you're magnetic. There's a magnetic pull towards you, okay? At the 20th of the month, we're going to have a full moon in your domestic area. So the full moon says that something needs to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted. And that's going to be October 20th. And we'll take this energy for the next 4 weeks, okay? So in your domestic sector, if something has needed to end, if there are relationships that needed to end, if someone's moving out of your house and they're not going to be there anymore, that needs to end, acknowledge, and adjust. If there are renovations that need to happen, if you need to move, if there are real estate transactions that need to be coming to a culmination or an adjustment, we can really see the kickoff of the moon over this next 4 weeks pulling you in there. Now, I also just want to keep you in the loop here, Capricorn. We're within this 6 weeks before we actually hit this next eclipse energy. So many of these themes you may see playing out from this full moon for the next 4 weeks to the next 8 weeks. So I just want to put you on tip with that, okay? All right, my beautiful Capricorns, get right with your money. Take yourself out at the end of the month and allow yourself to be seen, whether that's online, in person, or whatever. The magnetism is there for you to access, okay? All right, my beautiful friends, have a great month. Hello, my beautiful Aquarian friends. In October, we're still going to see Jupiter and Saturn traveling through your sign. Jupiter will be here until December 28th, and Saturn's going to continue to raise you, refine you, get you spiritually fit, bring you to that next level all the way until March of 2023. So you've got a little bit of tuck-in time. But the thing I want to remind you about Saturn is that Saturn is typically and traditionally the most challenging in its first year in your sign, because it's got to come in and say, here's where we need to adjust. During the retrograde period, you make some adjustments. And then like in October, when it comes out of retrograde, you can start to move some things forward. So it doesn't feel as complicated, but you're still going to be getting this Saturnian energy that is trying to level you up and take you to this next chapter in your life. So just be aware that that energy is there. But if you work with Saturn instead of against it, this could actually be your helper. Okay. Now, Mars is also going to be challenging you this month. And depending on where you're at in your manifestation, it may not even feel like challenge. It may feel like adventure to you, but it is asking you to get out of your comfort zone. Mars is like, let's go, let's move forward, let's expand. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's publishing, marketing, broadcasting, international travel. Maybe you're even, teaching, talking about something spiritual, or maybe even having a big set of like a mental exploration. These could be things that Mars is putting you in a lot of energy to be able to do that. And you're going to make progress with it. That's the point. Mars is here to help you break down, conquer what's there, and make some progress. Now we're going to have a new moon on October 6th. And this is quite exciting. It brings up your opportunity, right? Because we plant our seeds of intention to say, give me fresh eyes, fresh perspective, fresh opportunity here. Venus is going to be giving plenty of blessings to this particular area as well. But Mercury is still retrograde at this particular time. And I don't want this to dampen the new moon. Don't let it dampen your ritual at all. It may bring what feels like delay. It may bring what feels like a little bit of confusion to what's going on as you're planting these seeds of intention, because you may come to the 6th of the month and you're like, well, I'm not exactly sure how I want to take this forward. So ask for fresh sacred eyes to see how to move your projects forward, how to move this expansion forward. And then Mercury will come out of retrograde, so it won't last forever, okay? As we get towards the end of the month, from October 30th all the way till December 13th, we're going to see Mars pushing to that professional sector. So the things that you have that you are ambitious about, the things that you want professionally, and when I say professionally, I don't just mean your career, I mean your title in the world and in your community. What do you want us to know you as? What are you doing and putting out to the world? So think about it along those lines as well, in case you happen to be retired, not working, or something like that, okay? But it is an energy with Mars here that is like, let's power through, and you could find yourself being really busy in some way, Aquarius, and you have got the chutzpah to take it on. You've got this, so just roll with it, okay? It's also going to be proven to add a really nice element of social magic to the air, because Venus is going to be in the mix in some very social ways that help you be magnetic this month as well. Now, as we get to the 20th of the month, we're going to have a full moon happening in your communication energy. So the full moon says that something needs to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted. And I just can't help but think, Aquarius, that for you, that a part of the endings is actually a beautiful beginning. It's like, oh, I need to finish doing the edits to this book, to this speech, to this website, to this contract, so that as you know, Mercury comes out of retrograde, as this full moon works itself out over this next 4 weeks, I'm ready to go. You know, are you booking that trip? Are you getting something together so that you can expand and move from the space that you are now and get a message that you have out and into the world in a much more prominent energy? Now, I do want to keep you posted here that with this particular full moon, we are within this timing of 6 weeks to the eclipse energy that we're going to experience, okay? So you may actually see that some of this finishing touches, some of this adjustment, acknowledgement, ending may be happening for you. Instead of just for 4 weeks, you may see it over the next 6, okay? All right, Aquarius, have a great month. Put your emotional seatbelt on and get ready to use these energies to the best of your ability, okay? All right, Aquarius. Hello, beautiful Pisces. In October, we got to talk about the future. All right. So here's the situation, Pisces. Saturn and Jupiter are, of course, continuing to travel through Aquarius, which is your quiet space, your quiet sector, where we recharge our batteries. We work on things behind the scenes. We get right with the past. We let things culminate and transfer out of our lives, right? And so as Saturn is here, Saturn coming to the 12th house is really an energy of needing to look at karma. It's needing to kind of balance some scales a little bit. What have I done well? What do I need to clean up? So in this way, I do think that it is important, while we're here in October and Saturn and Jupiter are going to come out of retrograde, for you to step back to last December 2020 and look at the influence of what you were really experiencing. Did you feel like something was heavy on you? Did you feel like there was something from your past you were regretful about? Did you feel like there was something from your past you needed to actually do now and make right or take out into the world? Because this will be the time with Saturn and Jupiter now out of retrograde, where you've likely seen it, made some peace with it, let your spirit heal, let your body heal, tended to, if there were mental, emotional issues, you've maybe been in touch with getting those healed and worked on. And now as they're out of retrograde, it's time to really be able to move that forward. But the other thing that I think is really possible for you, Pisces, is that all the way back to last March of 2020, you got your first real inklings of some new spiritual messages, some new guidance, some new creativity, like a place where you're moving in between the worlds, but in a way that is very efficient. And you know, it's not just dreamy. It's not just feeling hocus pocusy. Instead, it feels like there's something to actually build there. And I think it's important to understand that just being a Pisces on your own, transmitting a message to the world that there is more than just the material, is really a piece of the message that you're here to do. But also anything from the past that may be holding you down, that needs that rebalancing, I think that's where you're healing and getting free of that, so that you can carry some things forward, okay? And past plans could have come up as well. Now, Mars is going to be pushing through the intimacy sector all month long, all the way until October 30th. And this is really, I think, a lot about wanting to make sure that the intimacy is on point. You see into me, right? But also this place where you're wanting to connect deeply with this world, deeply with the people around you. Now, in a very practical way, because I am still a Taurus, I do think that if you've got banking matters, loans, debt, taxes, real estate plannings and payouts or anything like that, this is a call this month for you to go ahead and get your fingers on that and get it moving. Make some decisions, make some moves. If you've got rental properties as well, or you have investment properties, I want you to check up on those. Okay. I want you to check up on those, make sure your houses are in good shape and all of that good stuff. Okay. The new moon is going to be happening on October 6th. Now, this is going to bring growth, an opportunity to plant your seeds of intention to grow. Now, Mercury is still retrograde at this time, so it can create some confusion, or it feels like, did the universe actually hear my ritual? They did. I promise it was heard. So around the banking, around the intimacy, any of these joint connected things, there may feel like there's a little bit of confusion, but Mercury comes out of retrograde on the 18th, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just give it a minute. Okay. Now, as we get to the end of the month, Mars is actually going to shift from October 30th until December 13th into the space of your chart that makes me want to tell you, stop trying to do it the same way. Like, you're allowed to be acknowledged in your career. You're allowed to do things differently. You're allowed to not be the Pisces that you were last year. Like, it is okay to have courage to get outside of your box. Take that on, move something forward. Okay. It's absolutely a lovely energy. So take advantage of it. Now, the full moon is going to be on October 20th, which says we need to end something, acknowledge something, or adjust something. So I think personally, that you could see yourself, maybe there's a change. This is going to bring an ending, an acknowledgement, or an adjustment to something around your finances. Now, one of the things I do think is important is not to freak out about that. Okay. Because it's not like, oh, all your money's going to fall out. That there's absolutely a possibility, of course, but I'm not calling that into anybody's life. But I do think it's more like you've been scattered a little bit, Pisces, and you have to decide where you can actually put your energy and your effort into that will benefit you in an income kind of way. You can't keep saying yes to all the projects. There's something that's got to go. Where is it lucrative? And not just financially lucrative, but where are you being offered an opportunity for you to level up and to advance, for you to become a lucrative product yourself and a lucrative soul yourself to transmit your message? But you can't do that if you're all tied up in multiple directions. So you might have to slim it down here and decide where you can actually put your energy, because that's where your money will go as well. Okay. All right, my beautiful Pisces, I hope you have a gorgeous month, and I'll see you in November, where we're going to get ready for that eclipse.